take Elizagirth off the screen there.
My food hasn't arrived yet, and I will be eating it, but I also have a microphone mute, so don't worry.
So during the break, I came up with the plan for for my reasoning as to why we're going to buy this cart instead of just rent it, cart and horse.
All right, let's hear the new reasoning.
So we're going to be sending Tom south with this chain cage and everything like that.
Okay.
What's he gonna? What is Tom gonna carry it in?
What if we don't get the? What if we don't get the thing? What if we get there and they've all been destroyed already?
Then Tough Toenails will sell the cart later.
How much does it cost to keep a cart?
Like a full wagon is 35 gold. Cart is 15.
No, like for feeding horses. Like how much does that cost?
Like that's a question for Brickred, I would assume.
Is it? I think that'd be in the PHP.
It is not. It doesn't say anything about.
Question for the man who wants to buy a horse.
Don't put this evil on me. It's not
So
the
most
book.
of
I
the
can't
cart-
do anything with that.
Most of the cost of the cart would be in time and resources needed for Alexander to build a working lift.
What?
Because we're not storing it at the top of the cliff.
No, because remember, toughs from the wharf town walk by and try to buy things from us.
Right. So it's going on the boat, so we need a lift, and we need a lift large enough for a cart.
Saying a cart, but renting the horses? Like,
Or you need a way to shrink the cart down.
Oh wait, or we could just have Seeker levitate it up and down every time we want.
have
Scrappy pull a cart? What kind of pull does he have?
I mean, Scrappy's going with us though.
Just for future reference.
He's got a speed of 40.
Right, but the cart is less about going fast and more about carrying large things. So, again, like, there's actually a thing for that, isn't there? It's like some number times your strength modifier, right?
I mean, I don't. Older editions had lots of rules about size category and quadrupeds versus, I think in 4 they just round it, smooth that all out. For reference, Scrappy, I believe, has, a strength of 14, and he's a medium-sized creature.
If he's a medium-sized creature, he's not going to be able to carry the kind of cart you're looking for.
Yeah, it would work if you wanted to have a cart scaled for gnomes and halflings.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Draft horse. Drag that. Drag it.
Then where do we
drag
keep
it
the
like
horse?
The thing is, we're going to be sending that on to
Yeah, the
Blue
horse
Worm
goes
with
Tom.
With Tom.
Yep.
So we're just giving them a horse?
Can Tom offset this cost somehow?
We have the plenty of
How much is Tom going to pay us for this thing? Like, he
Tom,
said
can you pull a
1,000.
cart?
My recollection is that Tom's man would buy the thing for, I think it was
2,000.
2,000, and he would split the proceeds with you.
Yep.
Okay.
Less the cost of this cart and horse.
Once it's 2,000
Let's say
gold, I'm not going to worry about the cost of a cart, and I'm your accountant.
Okay.
Oh no, he's any expenses that come with the cart and the horse, he's taking out of your share. That's only fair.
And you're bringing the cart and the horse back.
No, they would take you subtract the whatever expenses you have, and then split what's left.
Sure.
So, here's how this is gonna go.
Okay.
All right. Do we even know there's anything alive?
No. Well, we know there's a dragon alive there.
And probably died of old age by now.
You did confirm another room that had these creatures in it, but you chose not to go in and wake any of them up.
Okay, so we have a reasonable suspicion that some of these are alive. It's good enough for me. We have a cage.
Yep.
How are we getting it in the cage?
I have a spell.
What's
Called
called
Enthrall.
Thrall?
Does it have
Enthrall.
Does it have any limitations in like intelligence score?
You weave a distracting string of words, causing a creature of your choice that you can see within range that can hear you to make a wisdom saving throw.
So does it have ears?
That's what the guy's paying us 2,000 gold to find out.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put all your horses on this spell.
All right.
So Are all 6 of us going back to that
Well,
for
second
safety?
question. Why am I the one who is going with you?
You offered to come with me. I can go on my own. I wouldn't mind.
So we swap people. Lucius, you're on bodyguard duty. I will levitate that creature.
I think Lucius is the one who's interested in it. Maybe Florian wants to come with me.
I don't care who it is.
It's just for
Florian, what do you want to do?
this red path
I
is
wanna
the
visit
path
trinket
to.
shop, but I suppose I will accompany you.
No, I mean that's fine. I can go by myself. I'm just buying a gun. I'm not even carrying the money for someone to like waylay me and buy. I already paid for it.
Has anybody ever
And on
seen
the
a
way
scene?
back, I'll have the gun.
Has anybody ever seen a scene in a movie or a TV show where a character says, "Oh, I'm just gonna go buy a gun," and everything went perfectly okay?
Like, okay, so in this campaign, this exact scene has played out once already. We're just gonna go to an alley. Florian, you can come with me.
It's just an alley.
It's just an alley. It's fine.
Look, I've got Scrappy with me. I'll be fine.
How far out of our way is it on the ride back?
So in the red is to go get Alex's gun. The blue is to go back to the dragon hole and retrieve the gnarljack.
When do we
So-
owe?
It would take like an extra day, right?
It's gonna
If
take
we
a
were mounted.
It's going to take a day to get to the inn and a day to get back. It's going to take about a day and a half to get out to the dragon hole. Probably 2 to 2.5 days back because you're going to be traveling a lot slower with this big heavy cart and this heavy load in the back.
Today's the 12th.
Today would be the 12th, yes.
Oh,
When do we owe Fireball?
That's what I was just looking up on the 18th.
So next
so
Do we have any information built up?
no.
Nope.
To give him? Oh, but dear. Okay.
So, in the middle of the conversation, Gus is gonna go, oh, and he's gonna toss a scroll of burning hands to Florian and say, please, scribe this in your spell book.
Interesting.
You're intrigued by the concept of burning.
And I'm looking pointedly at Seeker as I say it.
And Seeker looks confused. Good work, Gus. Good at ya. Good now. Is that what he wanted?
So, what are we changing the plan already now? Is what's happening? I'm not clear on what's happening right now.
We're not changing a plan because we didn't have a plan. We had a hope and a dream.
Why even?
Okay.
Why
We
even
are
have a
coming up
plan?
with a plan.
6.
Why even have
As
a
a
plan?
If we made our pretty reasonable best time, we would get back here on the 18th if we did both of these things at once.
So you're suggesting travel to one place, then travel to the other place, and not split up.
That I'm just laying out the argument. I'm just establishing the timeline. We would have no time to investigate anything else for Fireblood.
I think
I
our
think
best. Go ahead.
Go ahead, please. No, Treble, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think our best investigators should go east get the gun, come back, start working,
Yeah,
and then
I'm okay with
while
that.
the rest of us go that, or you go get the gun, and the rest of us stay here, or none of us do this and we just stay here.
Well, here's the thing. I can actually try and poke around for information about the Firebloods. I mean, they're famous all over the entire kingdom.
They
Like,
certainly are.
We haven't done any investigation outside of the city yet.
Yeah.
I know it's
Good
just an
point.
inn along the way of the road, but they might have some leads.
Okay.
Right, but we can't send our best investigators to the right because I have to go north to cast Levitate.
I don't.
Wow.
Is it a ritual?
No.
No.
Okay.
I was actually talking about Lucius and Alexander.
Lucius is super into getting this trap, and I'm not going to take that away from him. If Florian or Gus wants to come with me, that's fine. Again, I'd be okay going on my own. I've got my Scrappy.
I'm
All right.
bored of crypts. I've been to 2,
Mhm.
and I think I've had my fair share of crypts for a little while.
Okay.
Do you think we
So-
should? Which way do you think I should go? Should I go with them or should I go with
Well, how big is this cage?
It's big enough to
It's
hold
big
the
enough to
gnarl
hold
jack.
like a little gremlin guy.
Yeah, we're only talking about a tiny creature, so no problem holding it.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's basically it's a dog crate for a medium-sized dog.
Yeah.
I don't know
Have
that
you
these
seen-
things are that intelligent. Maybe you try pushing the crate in front of you and have it jump at one of you and through the door, and then just shut the door. I don't
That
know.
might work. Might need someone to sever that chain behind it.
and so therefore I would feel more comfortable if Gus went to go capture one of these things, considering they are pretty nasty creatures. But that is just my opinion.
I have no opinion on where I'm going. Just wherever you think more. My opinion is which one of you is more Ralph Wiggum sitting in the back of the bus.
I think the answer has always been Lucius. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I have always gotten my dick kicked in.
Okay.
So you want to come with me, Florian?
Yep.
We go check out this inn, meet some GIF. Have you ever met a GIF before? I sure haven't.
GIF?
Yeah, with an F. I thought they were saying GIF at first.
Is it? Are you sure it's not GIF?
Florian and Alex are traveling east. The other three are traveling north. Is that the final answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I use a lifeline? Maybe phone a friend.
Okay.
As in gift without the T.
Huh, exactly.
Lucius, as
Yes.
you guys are making preparations, are you leaving on the 12th or are you leaving the next day? Like, what time of day are we going to be leaving?
I thought that was just like morning of the 12th.
Morning of the 12th? Okay. Lucius, as you
Yeah.
guys are making preparations to leave, a messenger arrives at the barge with a response from your father.
Okay.
The new Keyskin ambassador should be arriving within a couple of months. That's how long it takes to sail across the ocean. He's making a big show of it, instead of just quietly stepping through one of the magic portals that exists from Kiska.
Yeah.
The man's name is Yuam Kao.
Yuam Cow?
Yuam Kao. He is bringing his whole family, 3 wives, gods know how many children and grandchildren. He apparently, before he set sail, he made a big showing of freeing his gladiator slaves, because slavery is not legal in Dunfoss. So the new land that he would be traveling to would not recognize his custom. But so great is the love of their master that all of the slaves immediately swore themselves and their swords to his service. So all of these gladiator slaves are coming with him. Basically, this big festival boat is coming across the ocean with the Keyskin ambassador and his entire entourage.
Okay. And
How often
supposedly
would
this
your
is-
father ask things of you?
I mean, considering that he was that I was going to school on his dime, he'd probably be pretty interested into knowing what my research is about.
And what is his disposition towards your chosen profession?
He is of the mind that I am simply studying magic. He doesn't know about the whole Warlock.
No, I mean about Flumph Inc.
I haven't told him.
Okay. Make
But
a
he's-
deception check.
Dice, come to me. Please come hither, Dice.
Lucius is ashamed of us.
22.
22. Is your father the type of man to ask personal questions or divulge into your personal life at all?
Yes.
Okay. Then after he informs you about this this ambassador, whom he actually knows very little about, some sort of aristocrat from Kiska, not sure if he was associated with one of the guilds or not sure how close to the Jarl he was, not sure what kind of social standing, if he's a priest or if he was a fighter or if he's a freedman, he has no idea. But he asks, kind of brazenly, but not unexpectedly, your father's not a stupid man. He asks essentially, what's this he's heard of you living on a boat in the harbor of Dunfoss, rather than at the Tylesness App dormitories. And you know your relationship with your father better than I do, but the way the letter is worded is very curt, and as though it expects a response at your earliest convenience.
All right, then I will dash off a response specifically to that letter, saying that I'm working with some colleagues I met in town to investigate some things that I'm going to need for my dissertation, and that part of it. And also, I wanted to make a name on my own rather than ride on by with. While gracious, I want to be known. I want my deeds to be known as my own rather than as the son of a Udok. And then I will arrange to have that sent back to my father.
Okay, you arrange this before you guys head out?
Yep.
Okay. So it's going to take, let's say, 2 full days there and back to get out to this inn, which, by the way, is called the Lying Root Bar. It's actually a small collection of buildings. Not quite a village, but it does have a boarding house, a rather large tavern. This is a pretty well-traveled juncture of roads out to some fortifications far out in the east, and then south into fishing villages and whatnot along the ocean, and then north up to the Dwarven territories. So pretty big place. You could sneak in here, get lodging for a night, a good meal, and get away without anybody really taking notice of you.
Okay.
There is a gift platoon in town. You are informed. Right now, the platoon numbers only 2 GIF. There's actually a line in the 2nd edition Monster Manual that says a group of GIF is called a platoon, even if it's only 2 GIF. The platoon size is whatever is required for the job. Now, for those of you who don't know what a GIF is a ridiculous hippo man. So imagine a bipedal hippo with an arquebus on his belt. They don't need to wear armor because they have incredibly hard, thick skin and almost impenetrable skulls. So when an arquebus blows up in their hand, they kind of don't mind. It happens frequently.
What do they feel about the whole GIF versus GIF argument?
Well, they're called GIF.
Right.
If you call them GIF, then you're insulting them. Their
So, yeah,
reaction will depend on the individual GIF.
Once we get there, I will approach the platoon and say that I am looking for Dino Stomp. I was sent here by Heidencott.
Dino Stomp is about 9 feet tall and ivory white. And he's wearing fairly well-worn uniform of some sort of military tradition that you don't immediately recognize. It's certainly not Dunfossin. It's probably not Blue Worm either, but... And after a short conversation with him, he speaks in the shortest possible sentences. If he can possibly get away with 1 or 2 words, that's what he goes with. And you get the sense that even those 1 or 2 words come at great trouble on his part. If he could get away with just a grunt, that's much what he would rather do. When you identify yourself as Alexander, he knows who Heidencott is, he knows why you're here. And He takes you to a cart where he has 2 large draft horses on this wagon, piled high with supplies. And he brings out a parcel. And kind of in a place where there's little notice, where there's little foot traffic, so you won't be overheard or overseen. Opening it up, it is the gun that you've commissioned.
Excellent. Do I owe you anything for your troubles, or has Heinkot paid you in full?
He tells you that Heinkot has paid him in full.
All right.
He asks if you know how to safely wield this weapon.
Yeah. My people have probably used this more than anyone else in the East or the Deeps.
He doesn't look convinced, but he doesn't press the issue. It's your problem now.
Okay. Well, that was easy. Florian, you want to go investigate at the inn, see if we can dig up anything on Fireblood?
Why not? So,
And as you turn to leave, Dino Stomp asks what you know of Fireblood.
We're looking for descendants of, I believe, of Eldov Fireblood.
Dino Stomp reaches into one of the pouches that he's carrying, one of the little many pockets on his military attire, pulls out a gold coin. And he shows it to you. And he says, that Eldov Fireblood.
you know him.
He shakes his head and says, my father's father was in a platoon, hired by him, many, many years ago, long before I was born.
Where did you serve?
This is where things get stupid.
Of course, it's a gold coin.
I was about to say, why is there a gold coin with Eldo's face on it? Oh wait, never
Why
mind.
wouldn't there be a coin with Eldo's stupid face on it?
There is a huge continental lake near the free city of Blue Worm.
Mhm.
It was not always there, and it was not always a lake. Shortly after establishing it, Eldov, with unbelievable amounts of magic and no short amount of insanity, had this idea that their landlocked inn would not become powerful without access to the sea. So, together with unfathomable magics, earthquake spells and the like, tried to carve a river through the continents to meet the ocean. And actually kind of succeeded enough to create this huge inland lake. The river didn't last over the years. It eroded away, closed up. The drainage just didn't work out that way. But the lake itself remains, draining in some underground tributary instead. Dino Stomp is telling you that his father's father, because he's trying to carve a continent in half, a lot of people had things to say about that. And he needed various mercenaries and sellswords to just settle problems along the way. And that was his job. His father's father performed so admirably that Eldov gave him a coin and said, look, if any man comes to you with a coin similar to this again, it would behoove you to abandon your current contract. They'll pay you quadruple. And he's carried the coin ever since. It passed down from father to son, and it stays in his pocket today.
You're trying to tell me that this Eldov Fireblood tried to build a river across land to the ocean.
This is not uncommon knowledge. This this happened fairly recently, geologically speaking.
No, I believe I heard that.
That's where this big lake comes from.
And no one's ever approached you with a matching coin?
No, it's never happened.
If he's from Blue Worm, he probably would have known that too. Never mind.
Oh, everybody on the continent knows this story.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, it's Florian.
Crazy evil wizard tries to cut the world in half. Like, come on. That's some supervillain shit right there. Throwing out earthquakes from the balcony of his big chicken house.
Listen, crazy, I'll give you. But don't you ever call Eldov a wizard.
Eldov took a level of wizard.
He had to take a level of wizard.
He took a correspondence course.
No, you were there. We saw it.
He was a full-blown wizard.
And so, if anyone else ever pictured an Eldov coin to this GIF, drop what he's doing and assist that person.
That's how admirably these GIF performed in their task.
Because they'll pay them quadruple.
Because they'll pay them quadruple.
Was how many were in that platoon, and did they all get a coin?
Only his father did, because his
Okay.
father's father. He was leading it. He didn't know his father's father personally, but the story that he heard was that the platoon numbered as much as 180 at its largest. Had many numbers of GIF and also other sorts of people, some of whom were spellcasters. He intends to keep this promise if he ever gets the chance. If another man approaches him with a coin like this, he's going to keep his word. He'll drop whatever contract he's working on and switch sides if need be.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the information. I don't
Yeah.
know how it helps us, but let's go see if anybody knows about Eldov in the end.
I can ask Corio if he's got such a coin.
Ah, that's a good thought.
Asking around in the inn, go ahead and make a... How are we asking? Like, how are we approaching this? You just going up to random people and getting your little detective notebook out and asking questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll spread a. Let's say I'll spread a gold piece around in drinks. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and let's get a... One of you can make an investigation check, and the other one can assist.
I will be more than happy to assist you.
All right.
I think your investigation's up higher than mine.
19.
19. Let me get the region map back out here since we can zoom back in. A lot of people know the name, and most of the people here at this crossroads, I mean, you're talking to a lot of travelers back and forth, people who are coming from Blue Worm. People who are traveling down from the south, they speak the stories with great reverence. The whole thing about carving the river, as far as they're concerned, this is like the birth of their great free city. That's how powerful they were starting out. Somebody was trying to give them access to the ocean. What you learn is that to this day, Blue Worm, and it's possible that Florian already knows this, the southern lands of the world, the Great Ocean, is a frigid area of very difficult to traverse ocean, partially frozen, littered with icebergs, called Aqueous. Underneath Aqueous, in the waters, there are vast civilizations of aquatic species, some of which are intelligent. And to this day, Blue Worm kind of has a monopoly on trade of those kinds of items because of actions taken by the Fireblood family all those years ago. This is kind of seen as a blotch on Dunfoss's face because Dunfoss's head temple is to this great ocean goddess, but she has not seen fit to deliver to them the riches of that particular trade. Instead, she gave it to this inland nation where this fire wizard set things up.
Or this fire wizard created a river.
With earth magic.
I think Florian would know that.
Eldiv wasn't the only person who did crazy stuff in that campaign. He was just the most public.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't find anything. We don't learn anything specific about his lineage or anything like that that would be useful. Or maybe leads towards where we could find out more about that.
As far as leads, if you had a way to contact people from Aqueous,
Yeah.
We could
Yeah,
talk to the merfolk that have taken up. We could go talk to Doc again.
Yeah.
Who's the first person you shoot with your brand new gun?
I don't know. I mean,
So Florian, put this delicious Honeycrisp apple on your head, and then walk 10 paces.
I'm going to go ahead and, before, that took a day, so before we go to bed for the night, I'll use the sending stones and say, no trouble here, picked up the gun, heading back to the city.
Tell them we found some good information on Corio Fireblood. Or Corio Fireblood.
Got information. Wait, I wasn't counting. Cause
Because Burkhardt would.
I've got 10 left. I've got 10 left if you want to suggest anything about Fireblood here.
Got info on Corio.
Eldo fucked a mermaid. We still have 6 words.
Nothing has happened yet, right? To us, Brick?
Not yet.
Oh, we're still on the road.
It's about to.
Seeker responds back.
I thought you gave it to me.
No.
You gave me the sending stone.
Uh,
Okay, fine.
Lucius keeps staring at Gus, and then the cage. Might find Gus in the cage. Not sure if he'll fit.
Okay.
They seem fine. I'll tell Florian.
So the plan, as I understand it, is you're going to go down into the dragon hole, down into the room with the gnarl jacks.
Yes.
You're going to go in the room. One of you is going to hold the box. One of you is going to sever the chain. One of you is going to levitate the gnarl jack. Is that my understanding?
That's the
I
hope.
think
That's
I'm on.
that's the happy path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
who...
on chain duty, I think.
You're on chain duty?
Yeah, because I can't cast levitate, and I have muscles like a wet paper bag.
So that leaves Gus on cage duty. Is that correct?
No. Seeker's doing it.
Well, Seeker's got to cast levitate.
Yeah, I'm on levitate duty.
So, Gus, you're on chain duty, it sounds like.
No, cage duty.
Cage duty, not chain duty.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay. All
We have
right.
to chain Warlock on that. Oh wait, no, he has a book.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the...
Honorary chain Warlock.
I thought chain warlock for a while, but now I went with tome.
Reverse chain. Because you're actually removing chains.
Sure.
I've tried to find you guys an image of what this Gnarljack looks like from the book, but apparently there was a Harry Potter character named Gnarljack, so...
I looked for a picture too, and I found the exact same stuff, and I'm like, that's a bummer. Is there there's no picture of it in the book?
There is. It's an excellent picture, but I don't have it digitized. I could take a picture with my phone, but that's
What's
like...
the name of the book?
It's the Tome of
Tome of
Beasts.
Beasts.
I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out what it looks like. You said it's a bear trap that...
Oh, no. You know what it looks like. I'm just saying the picture is great. Like, the artwork is for this particular monster. A book like this, just flipping through it, like, this will make you stop flipping and like, what the hell is that thing? I'm going to use that. Okay, so chain duty.
Yeah, man.
How are you going to break the chain? What's the plan?
I'm thinking pop it with Eldritch Blast.
You can't fire Eldritch Blast at a chain. I mean, you can fire it at the Gnarljack itself, because it's a creature, but Eldritch Blast needs a creature for a target.
Is the chain not part of the creature?
That's
You
an
guys,
interesting question.
that is an interesting question. You guys had not verified that one way or the other.
Okay, you take my hand axe,
Okay.
and
Don't like this plan, but okay. I'm not proficient with a hand axe.
you are. It's a simple weapon.
Okay, then
Everyone's
never mind.
proficient with a hand axe.
Oh, hand axe was last campaign.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Yeah, bye, everybody.
Sorry. So you're going to try to bust the chain with a hand axe?
try shooting the chain first, and
Okay.
then if that don't work, we'll do the hand axe.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do.
You're going to have to pick one. Because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give each of you a check to make. The DC on the check is going to be 10. A combined success of 30 or better, which means if each of you rolls 20 or better total on the check, means everything goes off without a hitch. You get things safely into the box, and you can get it onto the cart with no problems. I'm going to have Seeker make... levitate. The creature would get a saving throw against that, right?
Yeah, the creature gets a saving throw. Don't worry though, it rolled a 2.
Okay, so you got that handy. Seeker, I'm going to have you make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Towards this, I'm going to have Gus make a strength check, just straight strength, no skill.
Okay.
And I'm going to have... So that's going to... Lucius, you're going to decide whether to try Eldritch Blasts or go with the hand axe. If it's the hand axe, it's going to be a to-hit roll with the hand axe. If it's Eldritch Blasts, it's going to be a to-hit roll with Eldritch Blast, but it might not work because you don't know if the chain is part of the creature or not. If it doesn't work and you wake the Gnarljack up, we're going to roll initiative and I'm going to bite a bunch of people. Sound fair?
Sounds fair. I think I try the hand axe first.
Okay. So,
But I just so you know, I have dog shit at everything physical.
so make it to hit roll with a hand axe. Your DC is 10.
Okay.
Everybody has blips. I don't know what you guys are so freaking out about.
Do I have blips?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's got blips.
Everybody's
I
got
got blips.
blues.
My other party on Saturday doesn't have no more blips.
Well, Vorpal does.
That's true. He does for sure.
So this is a -2 to hit, just so you guys know.
Yep.
Wait, then this seems like a bad plan.
Do I 2 blip or do I 4 blip for the auto success?
You can't pass.
On auto success, I'll
DC
count it as a
10.
10. If
But I thought you had to beat it by 10.
if he spends 4 blips,
I think he said that we need a total of 30
You
and
need a-
10.
Yeah.
you need a total of 30. So if he spends 4 blips to get a 10, he's contributing 0 towards that 30. Then you are each responsible for 15.
Yeah, I can't make that.
Okay then.
Well, my roll's a 15, so
So that's 5.
Yeah, I'll roll, but I can't make 25.
Let's see how you do. So you spent 4 blips on that, Lucius?
I'm spending 2 blips to re-roll it.
2 blips to re-roll.
Ooh, that wasn't much better. It's only a 9.
It's fine. If we roll initiative, we're probably better off. I can make it fail in an initiative roll. That's a 15.
15. So we got 5 from Gus and 5 from Seeker, which leaves you at a deficit of 20. Let me roll a whole bunch of dice on my end.
I'm sorry.
it's fine.
This is definitely Gus's fault.
One way or another, it's failing at saving throw.
I mean, if it's
Whether it has to happen on initiative or not, it's failing.
Seeker,
Yeah.
24 points of getting bit by a Gnarljack damage. Gus, 23 points of getting bit by a Gnarljack damage. Lucius, 18 points of getting bit by a Gnarljack damage. The plan does not go off without a hitch. And you all get chomped up a bit, and there's blood all over the thing's teeth, but you manage, at the end of everything, to get this thing locked in the cage, and it's still alive. You didn't have to kill it. And you drag it out of the dragon hole, and everybody's in a shitty mood.
Let's get the hell out of here before this dragon realizes we're here.
I already rolled to see if the dragon would be up and interested when you guys got there, so don't worry about that. And you all start the long journey back to Dunfoss. Florian and... Oops, where's my calendar? Florian and Alex.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to arrive a couple days before your companions do. You guys are going to get back on the 14th. The day after, my calendar says that fire erupts from the ocean near the barge.
Oh, well.
They're going to get back the morning of the 16th.
Okay.
Are you guys doing anything in those 2 days in downtime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to start by building a hitch for 6 horses at the top of the cliff.
Okay.
So I think we're missing that.
So
I figure that probably takes about a day.
you spend the 15th building this hitch. The morning of the 16th, whatever else you do on the 15th is fine. But the morning of the 16th, when you go up, it's been demolished. What else are you doing on the 15th?
So
I'd like to.
Destil, remember when we spoke over break, or like, what we want to get Tom ready to go, so we don't have to bring this thing inside the city.
Right. I mean, that won't take
And so-
long. You guys just send me a sending,
Yeah, so that's
and I'll
what I'm
bring them
gonna-
outside of the city. That's not a big deal. Well, that just figures. I would like to investigate. I would like to continue on the Fireblood investigation.
Okay.
Florian, do we have any good leads on that in the city that you can think of?
You did just get that line on the merfolk.
The aquatic folk, right?
Right. There's a whole house of them that are petitioning for aid from some sort of unspeakable horror from beyond time and space, and also citizenship or something. I'm not entirely sure what the politics are around that. You think we should go talk to them?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that would be House Zorasoth, headed by Captain Vimnus. You guys have spoken with some of his crew, actually.
Yep. Is Doc a member of his crew?
Yes, in fact.
Yeah.
The captain positioned Doc at his place in Broken Wall, and that's why Doc treats their health concerns and things without pay.
Sorry, you said where did you say we're in? Broken Wall?
Doc and his sister are in Broken Wall.
Gotcha.
Captain Vimnus actually resides on his ship, which spends most of its time moored in South Harbor, but they've also been granted quote-unquote lands up into the in the northwest, out in the ocean. Whatever bounty they can make of the ocean floor is theirs to do, and the captain makes journeys there semi-frequently. Right now, though, his ship is moored in Dunfoss, if you guys want to come to call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So follow up on that lead.
What pretense do you come to the ship with? Like, why do you tell them you're there for? Like, when his servants ask to what business do you have with the captain? His reputation is such that he's not likely to turn you away. He's known for great generosity, charity, and good works in the city. In fact, some of the nobility see him as a fool for exactly that reason. But the common people of Dunfoss do love him.
We are working on an ongoing investigation which might align with his interests, and we'd also like to get a first-hand account of the plight of the merfolk down south, which I believe he has come here to speak for.
Okay?
Yeah, I don't see any reason to be like deceptive or not tell him why we're there or anything like that.
So currently the Dunfoss Navy, such as it is only 6 ships strong. There's not much need for naval supremacy in this area of the world. Trade routes typically go along the rivers, and what little trade does go across to Kiska is typically monopolized by Blue Worm, because they've got magic portals and dumb bullshit. So, piracy is rampant out at sea, but close into the shores, not so much. So Dunfoss does have a navy, but it's only 6 ships. And it's no question that Vimnus, his father, Vimnus the Senior, arrived and tried to be appointed commander of the Dunfoss Navy. So far, the king has not done this. His personal ship, which has a name, it sure does, somewhere.
I don't believe it. Got the Ruby Rock Brick Road.
It's not in my Captain Vimnus paragraph. So I'm going to just assure you that it does have a name, and I will find it next time this character becomes important.
Okay.
It doesn't look like any other ship in Dunfoss. It's made out of bizarre materials, the likes of which they have the same kinds of property as wood, but are not wood. More information than that you probably don't have unless you've personally examined the ship yourself.
Okay.
It uses different materials for its sails. It also has many places to be rowed. A rowing galley. And it has several bizarre-looking structures along the hull of the ship and down in the back where the rudder is, that when it's in motion, there's a great spectacle. When the ship enters or leaves the harbor, they move like the fins of a fish would. The people of Dunfoss consider this spectacle to be tremendously entertaining, and the common perception is that it's a magical boat. Captain Vimnus and his crew insist that it's no kind of magic. It's just a sort of sailing technology far beyond what Dunfoss has. And Vimnus has offered to share these secrets with the king if he's appointed to the Navy. So that's a little bit of backstory about what you'd have on Captain Vimnus. His ship, his quarters, I should say, the forecastle of the ship, has been kind of converted into a more or less permanent residence. It's not as opulent as one of the noble manor houses in Dunfoss. There's just not enough physical space. But on the deck in front of the forecastle has been converted into almost a garden of sorts, where they actually have patches of grass and various types of flowers. In fact, Alex, you might have been involved in this at some point in the past, but apparently agents of Yulari have worked a great deal to transplant this garden onto this ship. Apparently Vimnus, this is a stature thing. This is something that he thinks helps make him more of a Dunfossan noble rather than a foreigner whose father sailed here years ago within living memory. Tritons are weird people because they're like kind of fish people, but kind of not. They have
like this on the Flumph Ink boat.
the gardens,
Yeah.
except like instead of flowers, it's just the good herb. Even the lowest Tritons that you guys know of, which would probably be Doc and his sister, have an air of nobility and grandiose around them. They carry themselves kind of similar to elves in that way. They're kind of on a different wavelength than most mortals. But there's something about them that's not pretentious, especially Vimnus and his crew. They always act very humble, and it's not like a fake sort of humility like an elf might have. When Vimnus hears that Flumph Inc. has some would wish to have a word for him, you guys are not waiting longer than 10 minutes or so, enjoying his gardens, before you're ushered into what's been converted into a sitting chamber that has nice opulent rugs. The colors that his father's taken for his house are an ice blue trident striking a black tentacle against a coral pink field. And they took this heraldry because it's a tradition in Dunfoss, and he tries to pass himself as a Dunfossan noble.
Quick question.
Yes,
They're
sir.
not actually a house in Dunfoss, right?
They are. The king has
They
granted
are a
them.
house.
The king. They
Okay.
when his father sailed here, they came here with lots of wealth. They've spread it around. They've been a good friend, and they were
Are a house.
granted lands. So, Vimnus himself
Right.
does sit on the Court of Lords,
Okay. Interesting.
but his lands, quote unquote, are actually underwater, off sea. So a lot of the Dunfossan nobility sees them as more of a like an honorary title because they're not real lands, and he doesn't really have a manor. He doesn't really have a business here.
You really got to vote though, so.
Yeah.
Instead of lands, he has waters.
When he
Better
meets
than
you,
land.
he's dressed in finery, but he wears his finery over armor. He wears a suit of coral-colored plate. And you can see on the wall, on one, he has his weaponry at the ready. He wields a beautiful coral trident. And he's also extremely deft with a harpoon gun. Both are at the ready at any time that needs to be fired. Hopefully not at you guys.
Yeah, that would suck.
He asks you in and very quickly offers you refreshment. They have cool water and just something little to nibble on from the ocean's bounty.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Thank you.
And he seems put at ease when you accept his gifts. And he sits down on this reclining sofa. And he asks what business you bring him.
Well, we're doing some work with one of our clients and doing some investigating. And we're curious to know, well, how much of... What can you tell us of the... We'll start broad.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you know about the trade that goes on between Blue Worm and... What did you call it? The Aquatic Lands? I can't remember.
Aqueous.
Aqueous.
Yeah.
He scoffs and says he knows a great deal about that farce.
Farce. Interesting word choice.
He asks you, what you know about pirates.
For
I mean,
stories, old wives' tales, that sort of thing.
I had a professor who claimed to be an ex-pirate, but nobody really believed him.
He says that many years ago,
he did teach navigation.
around the time of the founding of what is now the free city of Blue Worm, there was a very successful pirate who sailed predominantly the South Seas. And her ship was known to his people as the Dwarven Scourge, because its ram was a huge dwarven fist mounted on the front.
I'm very happy right now.
This ship raided and pillaged for a full year. And what few land civilizations there are in the south, human civilizations or probably Firbolgs and Goliaths and things, their ships were raided with impunity. In the aftermath of this, some of the underwater civilizations, particularly a country of merfolk, which had some trade with those people, was hit hardest. And very shortly after that, this Fireblood approached with a deal because he wanted to harvest pearls, which were considered sacred by many of the underwater peoples, including many Tritons, including his family. So pearls were hunted dramatically and fiercely and sold off to this land wizard. He didn't learn until his father came to Dunfoss that the wizard in question was Elda Fireblood. So that's the genesis of this trade, and he could tell you a great amount of harm that it did to southern civilizations and underwater civilizations, the kinds of places which the typical Dunfossan would only think of as wives' tales, as you put it.